Hello, JRPG fans. Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 57 of the JRPG Report. My name is James Fisher. We've been off for a week as had to head out of town for a little family R&R time. But we are back. We've got some great stories to talk about today. And I don't want to waste any time because we've got huge breaking news just out this morning. I'm kind of glad I waited an hour or two to do the podcast because otherwise this would have broke right afterwards. And it is perhaps the news we've been waiting for a little while, and that is some definitive information about Persona 5 Royal. Just call Persona 5 Royal. I guess they've dropped the out of it. We are getting it October 31st in Japan, 2020 in, well, I guess for the rest of the world. That's a little vague as far as the Western release goes, but with it being October 31st, you know they'll want to get it out before the end of fiscal year in April, so that's probably my best guess, somewheres in that March or April range. So we've got the date, but that's not all. There is a boatload of information. I'm just absorbing it all on the website. Thanks to our friends over at Gamatsu for breaking this this morning. I'll just kind of read along to you, and we'll try to digest all this information. First and foremost, Persona 5 has sold more than 2.7 million units worldwide. So the calls for an enhanced edition have been heard. It is coming out. Student life is further completed with the previously untold third school semester. The new character is the key to approaching the depths appears, as well as some formidable new foes. Remember, in that first teaser trailer, we saw the new character in it, and so let's first dive into who she is, and please bear with me on these names and pronunciations, as I've not obviously heard them spoken. I don't know how it's supposed to go. So her name is Kasumi Yoshizawa, and she is voiced by Sora Amamiya. And so here is her description. She is a beautiful girl who transfers to Shojin Academy the same year as the protagonist moves to Tokyo. She has made outstanding achievements as a rhythmic gymnast since middle school, and Shujin Academy has great expectations for her future. She seems to admire the protagonist, but rejects the Phantom Thieves. Whether she is an enemy or an ally remains to be seen. Of course, remember in that teaser trailer as well, she questioned the Phantom Thieves' methods and says she was not a fan of them. So, going to create some tension when she finds out who Joker really is, huh? Can't wait to see what that is all about. We kind of saw her in that trailer, her Persona version, with the mask and everything. She has got a sword, a kind of a cape going on there, some knee highs, and looks like to be wearing like a dancer's unitard type of deal. I'm surely that's not my area of expertise, so that's the best description I can give. There's a new confidant. His name is Tukuso Moriyuki, and he is a part-time school counselor hired at the concern of the students following the case of a certain teacher that occurred back in April. I believe that would be the crazy gym teacher. He has good listening skills and detailed advice. He is popular among the students. His arcana is Les Consultants. Of course, we get the third semester of school. A New Year's gathering with the Phantom Thieves is possible. This is a reborn Persona 5 experience, they say. School life is further completed with new city areas, new games, and more. I have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce this, but this is Kichinuji. a popular spot in Tokyo. It's a new area to visit. The mix of new and old, various cultures and personalities clash in this area that fascinates men and women of all ages. Looks like a very cool new area to explore. In this, you can play Darts Live 3. It is a Darts Live latest machine. It is perfectly reproduced in the game. You can play in looks to be a cafe type, gathering spot. And there may even be unexpected gains for the Phantom Thieves. There's new date spots in this area. This looks like a really cool looking aquarium. You can take the twins out on the town, let them see the outside world. And as is the norm in games, you can now take photographs for memories, or at least there's some sort of, looks like you can take some sort of photographs with your friends. As for battle, there are new strategies in battles. Your double life as a Phantom Thief will be even more stimulating. Here's a new foe. Looks like a giant horse with ram horns. His name is Kuriyama. It says something strange happens in the jail cell. There's 3 options in Japanese. Not quite sure. A mysterious treasure appears in the palace. As a new treasure chest is there to be had. So yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of reading through this as we come out. It looks like there's a new status assist feature, which gives you some quick abilities to go to and forward. The ease of play has been remarkably improved. Countless new songs. And very happy to see this PlayStation 4 Pro support. You can get an even more beautiful Persona 5 experience with greater detail and higher resolution for maximum realization. It is coming out October 31st this year in Japan, 2020 for the Americas and Europe. Price on that, 8,800 yen for the standard edition, 5,000 more, 13,800 for the limited edition. They're saying more information will be announced on May the 9th. So maybe we'll get a more concrete Western time frame. I kind of doubt that just yet. There's 2 trailers out for it. The Western teaser trailer, all it says is got the logo on there for the Royal, and then 2020. There's a Japanese trailer, though, and hopefully we will get that translated and over to us. Maybe that's coming out on May 9th. It's a really cool trailer. And what they didn't talk about any in this article, and what I definitely noticed from the trailer, is it looks like Joker mentions he even at one point attaches it to the UFO and is riding around on it. So very, very exciting stuff. It's a little bit longer than I thought we were going to have to wait for this game, but I think it'll be well worth it when that time comes here. Well, we're going to have to wait just a little bit. 2020 for the West. We'll get to see our friends. We'll get it this October. Moving on to our next story, and these are not quite as exciting as that one, but certainly there is some more news to talk about. As of today, Kingdom Hearts 3 Critical Mode update is now available, so you can play Beginner, Standard, Proud, or Critical for you really hardcore gamers out there. It will challenge even the most skilled Keyblade wielders to be more tactical as they battle formidable foes. In this mode, your maximum HP and MP are halved. The frequency of situation commands and magic is lowered, but Sora can perform new abilities exclusive to this harder difficulty mode. Additionally, the update adds the feature for players to carry over their Keyblades to a new game. Keyblades that are carried over will return to their default strength, but through this optional feature, players can utilize Keyblades otherwise not obtained until later in the game from the beginning. So that's nice. Still a game I don't think I'm rushing back into too soon, but I'm sure that's some good information, and people are looking forward to that one. We got some information on Ys 9, Monstrum Nox. It will be coming out on PlayStation 4 on September 26th in Japan. The latest issue of Weekly Famitsu reveals. The magazine also gives a first look at series protagonist Adel Christian and his travel companion Dodgy as they appear in this sequel. So Adel's hair is now a mix of blue and black, and he has a quote-unquote cooler atmosphere than before. As a suspect in a certain incident, he was detained and imprisoned in Badu, the prison city. So that kind of explains what was going on there. Back in March, the screenshots actually showed him, but it was from the back, and all it showed was the hair, so I would say most players did not recognize that was as him without his trademark red hair. So this one coming out in September in Japan. Maybe we get an announcement on a Western release here soon. One more thing I did want to say with Persona 5, there was, in case you that was all for PS4. Maybe May 9th we get some information about the potential Switch release, but there was absolutely no mention of Switch. There was nothing in the trailer, so that is why I didn't say anything about it, because there was nothing to report. Keeping on the Ys thread, you can play Ys 8 on your cell phone. Not sure if you want to or not. I'm sure that's going to be great for some people who don't, I guess, have a dedicated system for this. But, I mean, it is what it is. This is news. So, doesn't say when. There's no release date for that yet. So if you don't have it for Vita, which came out in July 2016, PS4 May 2017, PC April 2018, or Switch in June of 2018, you can now play Ys 8 on your iOS or Android device. Some big news that broke last week. We weren't here to talk about it, and honestly, I'm kind of glad we didn't do one last week, because this would have been pretty much the only thing to talk about, and it's still not much. We had speculated for a while about the PC release of Octopath Traveler. Well, it is set in stone. June 7th, you can play that via Steam and the Square Enix store. June 7th. It will feature English and Japanese audio, and English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Japanese, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese text options. So nearly 1 year after, of course, it came out in July of 2018 on the Switch, nearly 1 year later, PC will get it. Nothing really else about that. There are some screenshots and videos out there if you would like to check that out. But that is the most important thing. You ones that have been waiting for it on PC, you get it June 7th. Super Neptunia RPG for the PS4 and Switch has been delayed to summer. Previously said it was supposed to come out this spring, but now we heard that the PC version was delayed. Well, the console version has been delayed as well. That's really all that they have said. So most people probably would have guessed that, since it was already the spring, and we still do not have a firm release date for that. Hence, let's just put a generic summer release tag on it now as well. We'll see if this one may be maybe delayed again. I don't know. This is kind of weird. Usually when you hear these type of things, it's not a super great thing. It could be spelling some more troubles. If you are a Switch owner and you've been wanting to play God of War 3, well, you can do that come July 12th. Switch owners will now be able to enjoy the game that was previously only available on PlayStation 4. Of course, that came out worldwide by February. So not too much of a delay, about 6 months afterwards. Now, check this out. Bandai Namco has also thrown in there that pre-orders of the game will get a download code for costumes and hairstyles themed after Tales of Vesperia's Yuri and Estelle. So that's pretty cool. To clarify, it is July 12th for Americans in Europe. If you are in Japan and listen to this, you can get it a day before on July the 11th. Be interested to see how this game looks on the Switch. Could be a good little one to pick up. I'm always on the outlook for some cool Switch games to check out. So, keeping on the Switch console, this is every once in a while we get one of these stories that just you kind of do a little head scratcher, and you're like, I guess that's cool. It's kind of weird. So, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen came out not too long ago on the Switch, and I think a week ago, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes came out for the Switch. Well, they are kind of doing a cross collaboration, and to the effect that now you can get in Travis Strikes Again, you can get a Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen shirt that he will check out and wear. It can also be worn by Badman. And in Dragon's Dogma, there will now be a Travis Touchdown pawn that you can summon. And it does not look like him exactly. It is certainly what he would look like if he was in Dragon's Dogma. So don't be expecting his actual character model to show up. That would be pretty out of place. And he's not going to be having his little lightsaber thing either. His name will be Travis TD. And looks pretty cool. But I mean, honestly, outside of, looks like he's got a kind of glowing red sword and his face, you wouldn't really know it, that he was somebody special. I mean, it is kind of cool that they're doing that. And maybe, I mean, I'm just looking at screenshots, so maybe in-game, in video, it does look a little bit better. There's maybe some swoosh sound effects or something like that. But, I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. As long as it's free, it's cool. Death End Request for the PC will be launching in less than a month. Get that on May the 16th. Publisher Idea Factory International announced. In addition to the standard edition, a deluxe bundle, including the deluxe pack, will be available at launch. A permanent 20% discount. The deluxe pack includes a character art collection, concept art collection, 3 PC wallpaper designs, 8 mobile wallpapers, and a soundtrack. The standalone deluxe packs will also be available at a week-long 20% launch discount. The PC version also includes all the original game content found in the Japanese version, as well as Japanese and traditional Chinese subtitles. The free and paid downloadable content originally released for PS4 version will also be released for PC, with the exception of the quote-unquote bonus weapon downloadable content, which were PlayStation Network and physical retail exclusives. All downloadable content will be available upon launch, except the Summer Swimsuit Bundle add-on, which will come out on June 4th. So, PC owners are finally getting to experience Death End Request. A game that's kind of on my radar. We'll have to wait and see, mostly because it looks like it's a really cool turn-based battle system, and that is Dragonstar Volnir. And it has a release date for PS4 on June 11th in North America and June 14th in Europe. Publisher Idea Factory International announced. The Idea Factory was busy in the PR department this this week. So the game's trailer introduces the game's aerial turn-based combat. Now that battlefield is split between 3 layers, top, middle, and bottom. You can move freely between the levels to battle enemies. And there are even some giant enemies that take up all 3 tiers at once. So here are some of the key features about this one. The battles take flight. They say fight enemies mid-air in unique, vertically oriented battle system. Strategically position your party at different tiers to attack and disable the enemy skills 1 level at a time. Enter the dragon. They say you can perform enough attacks to unleash the dragon within, transforming each character to unlock devastating skills and newfound strength during battle. Kind of sounds a little bit like Legend of Dragoon. You can become the dragon. Weaken an enemy dragon to devour its element. When the element is pierced into a character, they can absorb that dragon's tree skill, but at what cost, they say. And last key features, madness or witches. 3 witches depend on you to bring them dragon's blood as food. Starve them and they'll go mad. Overfeed them and they become a dragon. Will you keep them alive or sacrifice them to obtain ultra-rare items and skills? Your choices will change the game's ending. So yeah, that's one that's definitely on my radar. Dragon Star Vanir coming out June 11th in North America and June 14th to our friends in Europe. The last story I wanted to touch on is not a game per se, but it is Final Fantasy VII, a symphonic reunion. So a couple days before E3 this year, June 9th at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, California, Square Enix has announced that there will be Final Fantasy VII, a symphonic reunion, the first ever official concert dedicated exclusively to FF7. It will feature a symphonic orchestra, a choir of more than 100 musicians on stage with giant HD video projection screen. The video program featuring FF7 will be made specifically for this event, and it will showcase the best moments of the game's story. So if you've not played the game, you should probably not go to this concert. So pre-sale tickets are available for $77.77. And those are already on sale as of this recording. I believe the it's got a link on here for something called Wild Fairy, Faery. I guess that's the website. You can check that out there. So this is worth noting that this is a couple days ahead of E3. E3 this year runs from June 11th to the 13th and is also held in Los Angeles. So it's kind of a tie-in. And I would anticipate, I'd expect some FF7 remake announcement. This is just too coincidental not to happen. That especially with Sony not being at E3 this year, I think we're going to get some major news. What that news is, that's going to be left to much speculation. Hopefully, the remake is further along than we think, and we'll be getting part 1 this year. I mean, what a way to open E3 if that was the case, right? Just drop this huge bombshell that we're finally actually getting something of this game sometime soon. If you'll remember, Kingdom Hearts concerts did the same thing with regards to Kingdom Hearts 3 announcements. So I dare say that is exactly what the fine folks at Square Enix have up their sleeve. And if you are in the greater Los Angeles area, I dare say this would be an event, once in a lifetime deal that would probably be worth a few bucks to go check out. That's all the news and notes we have for this week. We're going to keep it a bit of a short podcast. I do want to touch on my playthrough of Trails of Cold Steel, Legend of Heroes. We're into Chapter 4 now. I've been really kind of spacing it out Of course, I took about 6 days off with our little trip, and life got a little hectic there for a moment. So each night, 2-3 hours tops on it. By the way, if you guys are interested, we're still live streaming every bit of that game. If you go onto the JRPG Report YouTube page, you can see all of our previous walkthroughs. We just got to Himlar last night. We've been running around that big old city, and I got through the underground dungeon. So tonight's broadcast should be the summer festival. Little foreshadowing for you guys who are following along on that. So definitely check that out, or you can check out live. Don't forget, if you want to add me as a friend on the PSN network, it is The Last Remaining. That is all one word, no spaces. So I'll be sure to add you as a friend, and you can see when I'm live streaming it live to YouTube for all you fine folks. But having a great time with this game, as I knew I would. It continues to impress me how good it looks for a glorified Vita PS3 game, and just how much fun that battle system was and continues to be. But I have to tell you, and I don't think I talked about this many years ago when I first played it, but one of my all-time favorite events in a JRPG, not necessarily a classic, thing that happens very often, but one that was a little unique to this game. You, when you're up in the Nord Highlands and you go through the ancient ruin there, chasing after the bad guys, they talk a couple times about being quiet. That yes, it was a big cavern, and the enemies at the end of it probably wouldn't hear your movements. But not only do you use Millennium and have to break down the door and giant walls and stuff in order to get to the enemies, but the best part is at the very end. And if you've played Trails of Cold Steel, you know that throughout the dungeons and some of the overworld, there are either giant boxes or breakable pots to smash open, and some of them have mirror in there, some of them have items. Every once in a while you'll get a U material to upgrade your weapons. But in particular, at the end of this dungeon, you get there and the bad guy, the boss fight, is in the next room. You've got the save point, and they actually pause and they're like, "Shh, everybody, be quiet." The bad guys are right there. Let's sneak up on them and catch them off guard, right? As soon as that cutscene is over, literally that room adjacent to the boss fight, which there's not a door or anything, it is literally, a stone's throw away, are the bad guys. They could probably see you if they weren't, engrossed in goonery and just being bad guys. But the beat-all is the room is filled with breakable pots. And so the first thing you do is you go around with your character and you smash open, 15 giant pots. And if you stop and think about it for just a second, you're like, well, that's got to be the dumbest thing you could possibly do. That would certainly alert everybody, not only in the next room, but in probably the entire dungeon, to swarm upon you and attack you. But yeah, it's just classic, video gameism that your actions rarely affect anything in that in the game. But I just, as you smash each pot, hope they don't hear me smashing this pot, but I really need this item in this pot, and I can't do it afterwards, so I better do it now. Just classic. So that is going to do it for today's JRPG Report. This has been episode 57. Don't forget, watch along with us on YouTube. Catch our videos. We'll try to do those from time to time. And, of course, head over to the Facebook page. Join our community over there. We like to do fun stuff there as well. You can log on to the Anchor app on your phone and leave us a voicemail question. Also support our cause here by becoming a patron or, a donor, whatever you want to call it, we'll gladly accept the support. That'll go towards buying great new games for me to talk about on here and supporting our mission here to enjoy our beloved JRPG genre. Until next time, my name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk at you here hopefully next week. And until then, guys, get back out there and level up.